Okay, I have to. Hopefully, this is the last time I explain myself. It's not that I don't mind helping anybody. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my little ponytail so I can look decent. It's not that I don't mind helping anybody. Um, but when I was in the Army, I had friends or associates that I had knew. And for them to ask me for money when I seen them riding around in Mercedes Benz, BMWs, taking lavish trips at the time, and being done with college, at the time I felt like a tadpole amongst turtles, okay, or amongst a baby frog, a tadpole amongst turtles, whatever you want to call it. And I'm not going to edit this out because I know I had to go back and correct myself. So I was just kind of shocked when they asked me for money. Now, the only person that I ever asked besides my family and at the time, Christina, for something, that was it. And I really didn't want to ask her for anything because she has a whole family. And I didn't ask her for a lot because she had been nice to me throughout the years and came to visit me, phone calls, cards, all that type of stuff. That I wasn't expecting from her because I looked at certain people like associates because I wasn't really sure if it was going to be like a long-term friendship. But other people outside of that were like taking lavish trips, riding around in Mercedes Benz, BMWs, they were done with college. For them to ask me for something, I was kind of shocked because I was like, are you trying to be funny? Are you trying to get me to talk bad about you to see if I'm going to do something to you, or if I'm going to hurt you or something like that, which was not the case. And then also for me, like helping women, okay, that's cool because I'm a woman. Helping another woman, I understand that. But like for a grown man that I'm not, like, I don't look down on this individual like at all. I just felt like, if they had told me like, I'm not interested in you, I don't like you like that. I think I could have taken that better than just, like stringing me along or, trying to see like if I was a really nice or giving person, whatever the case is, whatever they were trying to do to test me, like going back, talking, like another female going back to this male talking about me as far as like what type of person I am or whatever the case is. I was just kind of shocked, like I said, because at the time I seen how much my paycheck was when I was in the Army. I seen how much my paycheck was when I was an E3, E4, when I made sergeant, when I made staff sergeant. And then, I chose to live on my own without BAH because I didn't want to put myself in a position to force myself to marry somebody or, have a child with somebody that, I didn't want to be connected to for 18 plus years. So it was shocking to me for somebody to like that, done with college, driving around in nice cars, taking big trips, to ask me for something or, not communicate. Like, I guess my cousins are like really tough as far as like communicating like, hey, you pay for your ticket, I'm gonna pay for my ticket, but we both want to go do this activity together. Or I guess certain women feeling like they're entitled to me, like they're entitled to my paycheck and stuff like that. Like the only person I even trusted to ask somebody outside of my family for something. Oh, and Kim at the time. But Kim always acted like an auntie to me. So that didn't feel bad. And Christina, I knew she had kids, so I didn't go out of my way to really even want to ask her for anything. But other people that felt like, I don't know, like trying to make me feel like if a man don't give it to you, a woman will. Like, you know, trying to play mind games. Like, once again, trying to coerce me into something that I already knew for myself. I wasn't trying to live that type of lifestyle. Now, today I don't have no makeup on. The water here is kind of, you know, rough or whatever. I am going to get another filter. I got to order me another filter. But, you know, I'm just trying to figure out if I'm wrong and how I feel as a person when it came to that, because maybe I came off as like butch or like LB, you know, like a man or something, but I was in uniform. But trust me, when I got home and it was just me by myself, I was showered, I was in my pajamas, I was making my little dinner, I was watching my little TV, and just trying to get through the day. Today I went to the Circle K to get me a soda. Then get outside, get me a soda, get me a drink. And this is the third time this happened. I had to make a report because I was like, is this my imagination or is this, like, what is this? And it's in a high traffic area. So it's like me walking to this store where I stay at, it's close. Instead of me walking across the street to the 7-Eleven, which is high traffic, I got to hit the light and I got to walk across the street. So I was like, I'm not going to go through this again. So they charged like this. I got a Coca-Cola in a can, had the American flag on it. It was like $2.69. So I go to buy the soda. They charged me like half of that price and then tried to tell me I need to pay another payment method. And I looked at her and I was like, okay, now this is the third time this has happened to me. And when I went across the street to the 7-Eleven, my card worked just fine. I didn't have no issues. So you're swindling money through people coming through the store trying to see like how much money they have. And then she tried to be funny when she said, oh, I got you. No, I don't need you to have me. I need you to let me pay for my whole drink by myself that I walked over here and I purchased myself. So first I had to talk to somebody to make sure I'm not seeing the wrong thing. Secondly, I had to regroup myself because I was like, this is the third time this has happened. I'm 38 years old. Okay, you're the employee at the store. First of all, I actually went in there to get a coffee because I don't have no caffeine in here. I'm trying to break a caffeine habit. So I have like coffee. Like I got energy drinks and stuff like that, but I don't have like coffee. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go get me an iced coffee. I walk inside the Circle K. I walk past the freezer. I was like, and then I walk over to the coffee area. The coffee machines weren't working. There was a man in there. I thought he worked there, so I turned around and I asked him, I said, hey, do you know if the coffee machines work? And he said, oh, I don't work here. And then he said, you could ask those ladies at the front. So I was like, I really don't want to bother them like that. So then I kept trying to see if I could fix the coffee machine. And I was like, okay, go ahead and ask them. So I asked them, they came over. That wasn't the issue. So then I was like, okay, don't worry about it. I'll just get a drink out of the freezer where they keep all the drinks. So I go over. I wanted an iced coffee. So I didn't get the iced coffee like the Starbucks brand and that stuff. So I go over. I just get a Coca-Cola. It's like the can one is like $2.69. You can get a big one. So then I go over to the register to go pay for the drink. And so she charges me half the price and she says, oh, you have to pay. Do you have another method of payment? I said, no. I said, I know there's money on there. I just came in there to get the drink. So then I was like, okay. I walked outside. I was upset. So then I was like, okay, see how much money was on the card. And then I was like, What else? Tried calling, but I ended up calling another debit card. So I was like, scratch that. So I just went inside and I asked them, I let them know, I said, hey, this is the third time this has happened. And I said, last time when it happened, I walked across the street and I got me 2 Coca-Colas with no issue. And I said, I wasn't talking like this. And I told him, I was like, this is not right. And then the younger employee, or she looked younger with the do-rag on and had on a red shirt, she was like, well, it's your prerogative, it's your choice. And I just looked at her and I was like, I don't know what y'all got going on in here. I don't need, basically I was pissed off. So I told him, I said, at the time, I said, I worked at the Circle K headquarters in Houston, Texas. Then the other lady was like, no, the actual headquarters is in Arizona. And I was like, the headquarters that I worked at was in Circle K. In Houston, Texas. So I guess they were trying to be funny, like talking in code, which I was picking up with what they were putting down. So I was like, I was pissed off. So then I came back home. I walked back home and I collected myself. And then I called a women's support group to see if they had any counselors or somebody quick that I could talk to. And then the lady was like, you could talk to a VA. I said, a VA counselor. I was like, no, I don't want to talk to no VA counselor. I need to talk to an older woman, like somebody in her 50s or her 60s that wants to see a woman educated, that wants to see a woman dressed nice, that's not telling you have to be nice when you go somewhere. Because I'm like, I'm going into a store that I'm not married. I'm a customer. And I go into the store to grab a coffee and the coffee machines are not working. I changed my mind to go buy a soda and I'm being told basically that I can't purchase a drink and try to play me splitting the payment in half and I can't purchase my drink. Now, granted, on that little gift card, I had like $4 and some change. Okay? No big deal. Like I said, the Coca-Cola was $2.69. And then for her to try to say like, oh, I got you. I was like, no, I don't need you to have me. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm not hurting for anything. Like, if I need something or if I need my family or something, like, it's only in a dire emergency, but I don't need anything. Like, I'm explaining that myself right now. So like I said, I called the people and then I called the police because I was like, y'all are employees. You do not run the store. You don't own that store. You don't own the people inside that store. You don't own the products inside the store. You are an employee. So when customers come in there and they want to buy something, you don't have nothing to do with what they buy. So then, I'm cool, calm, collective. It didn't bother me. So I'm like, I don't know who they're working for on the side outside of them working at Circle K, but I was like, I'm not dealing with this. So now I got to worry about am I wrong for complaining? Am I wrong for saying something? Because the more that somebody keeps trying to so-called give me a hard time, I'm like, you guys have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, and you're sitting up here worried about what I'm spending my money on, worried about who am I saving money for? When I die, I ain't leaving nothing to nobody except for one person. And he's probably in middle school right now. And that's the only person that's going to get something, if I get anything. But watching where I spend my money and how I spend my money, I can't see how nobody's spending their money, and I don't care because that's their money. So I had to go through that whole situation, which is probably contributing to, me not being able to heal. But I'm like, I told the lady that I was on the phone with, I was like, I'm not no prostitute. I could buy my own soda. These men are out here acting like hyenas, trying to break women down so they could talk to them. There's plenty of women that will talk to you. I'm not the only woman. Trust and believe. And if I don't look to your standard, if I don't look a certain type of way, it is okay. There's a woman out there for you that looks just how you want her to look, that dresses just how you want her to dress, that talks just the way you want her to talk, and that will pray just the way you want her to pray for you. Because a man that's for me, he's going to like just the way I am, and he's going to see everything that he needs to see when it's time for him to see it. Other than that, on an average day like this, for me to be being treated like this, I was like, I don't have time for it. And I had tried to put some makeup on, which I'm not even going to try to do that no more. I know I need to get my eyebrows done. But somebody or some man group is about to get reported. And I mean, like, when I report them, I'm going to report them all the way up to the top. The head of the Masons, okay? Whoever's in charge, I'm about to report all these little people around here acting crazy, like they own something. Because they don't. So I mean, I don't know. And these men that need jobs, I'm gonna tell you how to go get a job. You can go get a TWIC card. You can go get a merchant mariner credential card, where you go work on a boat and you go to different ports and you make good money. You can go take a hazmat class. You can go take a class to be a surveyor. There's so many jobs out there. You need to go find a men's group, not just go to these workforce solution places to help you find a job. I'm talking about like go to some real men groups. If you got to go to the golf course and talk to some of them older men out there and be like, I really need a job that's going to pay me, that's going to sustain me, because I'm tired of being crooked. There's some real men out there that can tell you how to work, instead of giving these women that are already kind of like situated, self-sustained. Everything might not be perfect, but they're situated. You go talk to them older men so they can help you get situated and get sustained, while you're over here trying to tell women that they shouldn't be drinking coffee and that they shouldn't have no caffeine because you need some energy. You need something to get your body going and get through the day and all that type of stuff. If you want the house clean, you let her have her coffee, let her have her energy drink. And, you know, it just depends. I have my theory on coffee, but I'm not drinking coffee like every single day. Okay. And like I said, I'm not married to anybody who's telling me that. My teeth are not yellow. They have a natural hue, a natural color. That's it. Like, being posted up outside of the neighborhood over here where I live at. When I walked out into the street and I seen somebody posted up on the street, what are y'all doing? This is not Tokyo drifting, GT9, none of them little games. Like, go back to regular program. I don't know what y'all call yourselves trying to do, but if you got time to go sit up and post up somewhere and try to intimidate people, you need to go work at some man job, a construction job. I wish I could do a construction job because they pay good. Construction jobs, working at the airport, on the airfield. Like, you're in Texas. If you're a man in Texas and you don't have a job, go sign up to go work in the oil fields. Go sign up to go work down at the port. Go sign up to go work. Like I said, there's all types of jobs in environmental. Like, the list goes on. So please, 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 please stop. Stop. And no, I will never in my life be interested in being in a relationship with a woman. I need to knock on something. Ain't no wood in here. but I'm not interested. I don't, like I said, I don't have nothing against anybody that wants to be in a relationship, on that side of town. But for me and my heart and how I feel, I like men. And now I really have to say the last person I was with, I hope there's anything bad. I don't even know if I should look. I got my hands like this because the way whoever orchestrated all this stuff, these two men that I want to say their name, I might have to say their name in this next video so for everything to stop. But that's where I'm at right now. So if I go back out into the street and I deal with anything else, then I have to say these two people's names, and hopefully everything stops. I'm just done, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't even know who these men are in relationships with. I don't care who they're in a relationship with. What else? Somebody's trying to make me care. I don't. So that's it. And if you're trying to say I'm ugly or I'm not attractive, or there's women that are more attractive than me, you're absolutely right. There are women that are way more attractive than me. So that's it.